the deal that you made and signed the contract for before you were born was that you'd endure all the suffering that you have endured in order that you can help those that you love, using what you've learned by healing all your own physical, emotional, mental and spiritual pain, and you become a wholly whole role model, and your experience can be an unforgettable and endless healing resource for good decision making for yourself and others. Perhaps even bad things happen for a good reason. Now, if our decisions are made based more on our moods than logic, then perhaps it's logical to be in the right mood before we make important decisions. I'm thinking this could apply to almost anything that we might consider important, where in the past we've been making poor decisions. We're all human, and we all make poor decisions from time to time, sometimes over and over. Looking back, perhaps these decisions would be different if we were in a better mood at the time. That could be possible, couldn't it? I wonder if it's possible to test this theory, perhaps by deliberately changing our moods at particular critical times, and then observing if our behaviour changes in a positive way. So I came up with a plan, and here it is. The first step is to identify things that change our moods. There are many to choose from, and people can add their own choices. But for this exercise, I've chosen music and food. The next step is to identify a typical poor decision. It needs to be something recurring, so we can notice changes in decision making when moods change. Again, people can choose their own typical situation, but for this exercise, I've chosen so-called eating disorders, something that almost certainly affects someone close to you. Some people may overeat and put on too much weight. Others may do bulimia. Some people may only allow themselves to eat a very restricted choice of foods, or very limited quantities, or even both. For some people, the whole subject of food can be very emotional. The next step is to do things designed to lift the mood immediately before and during the time when in the past poor, later regretted decisions were made. We can hopefully lift the mood using the therapeutic qualities of music and food. Music. This is so simple it's ridiculous. We simply put on some mood-lifting music before and during eating, and make it a rule to have music for all eating, no exceptions. I suggest Mozart, but whatever works for each person. Food. This can be as simple as having a rule. I only eat what makes me feel good. Or as complicated as you like. There's some scope here, so here goes. The theory is that certain foods lift our moods. These tend to be certain proteins in alkaline foods, mostly salads and fruits. A great antidote for people who are unwell or on medication and tend to have acidic conditions in their bodies. Other foods in excess can make us feel good and then bad later. For example, coffee, chocolate, alcohol, sugar, and so on. They tend to be acidic foods and are supposedly addictive. The question is, if people are in a good enough mood to start with, can they then go without doing these abuses or behaviours and make better decisions? Big steps are much harder to take than little ones, so here's the plan. Get a printout of foods in a typical diet and circle what you're prepared to eat. You don't have to change what you're prepared to eat, or even how much you eat, or even how many calories you consume. Just eat more good mood food that lifts the mood in a good way. The last step is to monitor the improvement in moods and important decision making. Record everything in a diary or journal so we can use the information to help other people, or write a book and make a lot of money. Just kidding.